What's up, desktoppers? Xavier Wills here for Desktop Bodybuilding, and I am here with Martin Fitzwater, Brett Wilkin, and Stanimal Xavier. And I'm Xavier Wills, and we're back for another episode of Bodybuilding University. Boys, it's good to be back. Second one in the week, and we're leading up to the 2022 Mr Olympia 1 week out now, which is crazy because it feels like the last 4 or 5 weeks have gone so quick into this Olympia. And it's seems like Vegas, where you are, Stan, right now, is pretty crazy. So how's the vibe there, firstly, Stan?
Yeah, no, it's getting it's fun. You go to the gym, you see everybody just working hard and motivating for sure.
Yeah. Who have you seen there so far? Big names.
Well, I've seen a lot. Nick and Andrew. I've seen Mike the Badass. I haven't seen Earth, but I saw Tio, my friend Tio Le Guerrier. I've been with him a few days. I see him every day. We did some posing yesterday, and can't think of anyone else right now.
Yeah, but Brett, man, how you been? Obviously coming. What's that?
Neil Curry.
Yep. He looks sick at the moment as well, actually.
Yeah.
But Brett, man, how you been? Obviously, a lot has been happening in your life. Firstly, congratulations on dad to be. Ivana being pregnant. How's your excitement and nervousness levels in terms of becoming a dad? Obviously, it's going to become more real as the weeks go on, and Ivana becomes more pregnant. It's wow, this baby's going to be here soon. But how's the whole, I suppose, experience been for you?
Yeah, I mean, now it's obviously I've known for 8 weeks, and so that was kind of but we were prepping still, and that was still the goal, was the shows. It was more so just a motivating factor with that prep. But now that the shows are over and not competing at the Olympia, we're done with the competition year. It's oh shit, now it's here. Now we got 5 months until we'll call it game day of the birthday, and it's good, man. We went, now we're just getting everything set up for that, making sure she's comfortable. We got meet with the doctors. We went and got another ultrasound last night, and so just doing all that stuff. But the thing is, she's a trooper, man, and she's gonna be. We both gonna be more excited, but she's taking this head on, almost like a competition prep in itself. It's everything's perfect throughout the day, and so it's been awesome to see her transition. And we're gonna do this right, and so it's just gonna be a combination of the new kid and then a full year off for me, getting ready for the 2023 O. And Martin's been around me, man. It's just all positivity, man. I'm just, like you said, just still on cloud 9, just at the finish of the year. And this, with the baby incoming and everything, it's just going to level me up. It already has. I wake up 6 a.m. ready to go. Businesses, training, food, nutrition, everything. So it changes you. I just got an extra motivation, and I think this year ahead's going to be obviously the best year yet of everything. But it just starts with just day in, day out, getting it done. So that's what we're doing.
Yeah, for sure, man. That's so exciting. And you will obviously, as the pregnancy goes on, you will figure out, the thing I figured out is it's crazy what the female body actually does. Even the process at the end, you'll feel different parts of her stomach, and this bit's really hard because this is what this is doing. I'm oh my God, that's mind blowing. It's so crazy, the actual thing. And even after they have the baby, what actually happens in the process of how everything goes back to normal, it's just absolutely mind blowing. But it's so good that you and Ivana have such a solid relationship, and that you guys are able to be so set up in such a good way. And you've obviously the release of the Butcher Hooks, man, which has obviously been a huge success. That you sold out seemed pretty quick. And talk a little bit about that, man, how that's been.
Yeah, so I mean, first off, just just us being guys in bodybuilding, what we see over years with the human body is amazing. It's just the human body is amazing. It goes in the direction of your mind, of how you're training, how you're eating, things like that. But seeing a 9-month process of a woman having a baby is just totally, it's
so crazy.
Every day it's just whoa, you just see changes. So that is cool. But so I launched the Butcher Hooks last week. So that's this is actually the first podcast I've done since the show, and you've been trying, I know, but I've been man, I'm underwater right now. really breathe. Everything's like, but it's good. It's good, busy, waking up, just grinding away. And so I got the release of the butcher hooks. They're a lifting strap if you're new here or whatever. But yeah, they sold out within hours of the majority of the sizes. So that's a really good sign. We crashed the website. There's so much traffic there. So if you purchased some or you tried to, thank you who's watching. But I'm restocking. So Monday, December 19th, I will have those all up again. So I restocked all the popular sizes. I got a couple new colorways coming. So that's been my main focus right now, just because it's, like people are loving them that are using them. And I just want to be able to get as many out as possible. The demand is there. So I need to continue to get the supply chain going. And I am doing that. And I'll have drops probably every 3-4 weeks so we can keep getting these out. So it's been cool, because I've seen, the back end of being a full running your own business, the backside of shipping. So I'm getting all those experiences and stuff, and the marketing, and I think I'm doing a pretty good job, and it's paying off. So let's just keep running with it.
Yeah, and it's cool to see, man. Like when you brought up the butcher hooks idea and stuff like that, I was like, oh, that's cool. Like, not thinking too much of it at first. And then I saw it, again. And then, I was like, oh, this is cool. This is going to be a big thing. And you sort of like, they look great, man. Like I've seen Nick Walker using them just in his training, just in clips on his, Instagram. So obviously they're legit. He's not going to use that for his Olympia prep,
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. It's been really easy to market, because Martin's used them too. It's like, I don't need to tell you, hey man, will you please just wear these? I'm not going to tell you that. I'm going to say, hey, here's some hooks. If you don't like them, give them to somebody else, because somebody else will like them. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's just people are using them because they solely like how they use. And just what they are is, it's going to be more of like our bodybuilding type of training. So more of hypertrophy training, which is, quicker pace, higher volume. It's not so much that we're going to wrap up and pull 800 pounds. It's more so that we're going to do a superset, just grip and rip, or hook and go, I call it. But it's just quick action stuff with those. And just if you train like a bodybuilder, these are perfect for that style. And it's like I said, the use has spoke for itself. A lot of people are just using them solely out of because they really like them. And like I said, it's taken off well.
And the thing is as well, like if you've got a training partner, and some people train in like threes as well, if you're training back and a few of you have wrist straps, like that shit can take forever. And then you're having like huge rest periods. These, you can just like whip them around by the looks of it, and then you're on,
Yeah.
So it seems like a lot easier option. So yeah, that's awesome, man. I can't wait to give them a go. With the next lot, I'll definitely have to get some, man, because they look awesome. But man, how was the whole experience with obviously winning that show, obviously coming second in the first show in a close contest to Baruz, and then after that getting the Olympia qualification for 2023, becoming the first qualified Olympia athlete for the next year?
Yeah, man, it was. We talked a couple days or a day before the show. We were ready. We looked good on that first show. It didn't go my way. I really wanted it to. It stung there for a little bit. Not so much like, Baruz was a great bodybuilder. I knew that into it. People just don't know who he is because he can't compete anywhere. Like I just saw he can't even come to the United States now, so he can't go to Olympia. But he's an amazing bodybuilder. It looks, amazingly peeled. Had a little bit, probably was about 10 pounds heavier than me. I thought it was very, very close. I think, the shots could have went either way in a lot, but he came out victorious. And that one stung a bit because I don't think it was, obviously I always want to win, but like in my head, I envisioned me winning and then announcing the baby arrival. You know what I mean? So like, it was like that post.
Yeah, we talked about that.
And it was just all, leading up to that. I was in my mind. It was in my dreams. I had it all envisioned and everything. And then it got pulled away, when you hear that second place, and we've all been there, especially all three of us have been there this year, even that second place where your name gets called and you're like, motherfucker, And so it's just like, you take, you act accordingly, whatever. But dude, that just continued to light a fire, man. Like, I don't think that time in between Romania to Spain, like that first 10 days out of the 13, it was just, I was just going, man. Like, I had no bad rebound. I barely ate any, I had one cheat meal after the show, and then we were back on it. And I was training legs as hard as I ever could. It wasn't just some gimme shit. It was like, I'm going to earn this one. And like, I'm not going to let any chance happen here, anything take this away from me. So I worked my ass off in between there when I was staying over in Spain. It was tough, you know, when you're staying in a different country for 2 weeks, you know, with a 7-hour time change between here and the United States and the people, you know, the people you need to talk to, it does get tough. So, you know, I was talking to Martin a little bit, man. I'm like, man, you know, this last part's getting really rough because it's just me, you know, towards the end, I can't talk to anybody. It's just, you know, I don't hear from Matt until like 2 or 3 in the afternoon. So I got to make my calls in the morning on everything and stuff. But, you know, I was extremely focused. I really wanted it, and it all came together in Spain. I showed up confident. And then, you know, it came down to me and Andrea at the end. And I was standing there, and they came up to second place. And I just sat there, and I looked down, and I said, don't fucking call my name. Don't fucking call my name. and they didn't. So that was a good one for me. And like I said, these guys are going to experience it too. Is like, once you break that barrier, it's like, okay, I finally did it. You know, I won that first pro show. You know, I know where I'm at now. And like, you know, it just felt so good, such a relief. And then I was able to share the biggest blessing of, you know, going to be a father here. I was able to do that in the victory speech, was awesome. And then it was just a great end of the competition here. And I had a great time over in Spain. Thank you, Spain. A lot of great people there. It was a blast. And then we came home. So here we are and heading into the holidays and smiling all the way.
Yeah, that's cool, as man. I love that. I'll go to Marty as well because I haven't spoken to you yet, Marty. But what did you think when obviously you were in that position where you came second to getting an Olympia qualification, you know, to Andrew Jacked, and you know what people were, and we made a case, you know, pose for pose, you could have won it, but you know, Andrew is obviously an amazing bodybuilder. And obviously Brett was in that situation where he was really close with Baruz as well. And you saw him get second. Did you feel for Brett? Like, were you like, damn, like, I know what that feels like?
I mean, Brett and I are so close, bro. Like, I'm literally texting him as he's posing on stage during Romania, telling him, like, fix this pose, do this with your tan, try this to make yourself look bigger in this pose to make him look different. Like, so, yeah, of course, man. Like, kind of felt like I got second again, honestly. You know, it's like my best friend, like, living through him again with his competition and knowing everything, too, man. Like, it's kind of funny. Like, I didn't want to tell this on the last one, but when Brett had told me a long time ago that they were having a baby, and even when he told me, he was like, don't tell Yvonne I told you. We're not supposed to tell anyone. But I literally, like, can't keep this to myself. I have to tell somebody. And I know
you sound exactly the same as I was.
He's like, I know you're not going to tell anyone, so you have to. I had to tell you. So I was so excited for him, man. And I knew that like, for him, he wanted to tell people in the winning speech. Also, man, we already saw it. He just beat like 4 or 5 guys that are going to be on the Olympia stage this weekend. So for me, it was like, damn, I really wanted to see Brett on the Olympia stage this year. If I couldn't be there, at least I could be there. He could be there. I could watch him in the open and support him, you know. So it was definitely hard for me, right? But you know, to see him persevere through and grind those 2 weeks out over there, like, I know at the end it was getting rough for him. So like, I'm even trying to wake up at 2 a.m. to text him and just see like how his morning was going and stuff, man. Cause I knew he had a win coming for him. Like, we all know it's a matter of time for all of us here. But I really knew that like Brett was literally seconds away from getting a win and getting an Olympia qualification. So for me, man, it was just exciting to watch the journey. And like, honestly, it was just heartbreaking that I couldn't like be over there with him. Like, I'm like, fuck, I wish I was there so bad.
Yeah, man, I'm sure. It was cool to see, man. So yeah, congratulations, Brett. And I can't wait for obviously the whole process. How do you know when the baby, you know, is expected to when the actual Olympia is? Like, how old the baby will be when the Olympia is on?
Well, we need to find out when the Olympia is. You know, we've heard multiple things. I don't think we know a set date yet. I'm sure they'll say it next week. Usually they announce it at the Olympia, so I'll be paying attention. But on this right here, this thing that they gave me, it says it's December 15th through the 18th. But then I've also heard that it's going to be October. So that'll decide.
I heard November.
Yeah, so I don't know yet. But with that said, the baby's coming May 22nd. So that's the due date. So I'll have, you know, either 5 to 7 months after the baby. So my plan is, you know, mapping this out is I'm doing a little rebound right now just to get the weight back up. Going to go through like a health phase, kind of come off of everything. just relax a little bit during the baby, just so I can be present with her, make sure everything's smooth. We'll be we traveling back and forth with family, and then I'll start like a 6 month prep for the Olympia. So then I'll do a little bit, another push up and weight, and then just go right into the Olympia. So it's good to map out the year ahead. I already know what's coming and what to expect with training, protocol, health things. So just got to take care of business and kind of stress free this year. So that's a good feeling. And honestly, you guys know this, I just got to put 10 pounds. If I can't put 10 pounds on in a year, then I'm not a true bodybuilder. So let's get it done and bring that same conditioning and have a good show at the Olympia, and hopefully these guys will be here with me.
Yeah, man. And it's exciting because we get to see, like, you guys, obviously all three of you were hoping to qualify for the Olympia this year. All three of you got second. So yeah, it was like
right
so close. And it seems like next year, 2023, will be a year that, well, obviously it is for you, Brett, but for you, Marty, and for you, Stan, if you do obviously both choose to compete before the Olympia, that it will be your sort of year to get on that Olympia stage. So it'll be exciting. And it's, it's cool to see the new waves of these, you guys, coming into the Olympia and getting onto the Open Olympia stage. So it's real cool. But we're going to talk about the Olympia today. We're going to talk about the Classic. We're going to talk about 212, do some previews and predictions, and go over all of that. But first, before we get into that, Marty, what's been going on with you, man? What's been happening in the life of Martin Fitzwater, and what's your plans for 2023?
Man, not much is new from the last podcast that we did. But,
yeah, that was like 4 days ago. Sorry, man.
No, but realistically, like, super excited. We leave for Vegas tomorrow. Bags are packed, sitting right in front of me, and just doing the last little touch-up things. Obviously, like I said before, helping Ariel get ready, like watching that experience and the fitness experience has been really different. So that's cool. For me, I got my blood work done today. And just getting everything lined up to start that push in January. So like I said to you guys, taking downtime through Christmas, obviously, you guys know how that goes, and family time and all that stuff. And then January, it's time to lock in a box and get to growing. So, I'm a little guy and I got lots of work to do. So that's time for me to go work and get some work done.
And how's the energy levels like since you've been obviously, coming down off your preps and all that sort of stuff? Has it been all right, or have you been a bit lethargic?
Yeah, man. I mean, so I decided I was going to do TRT out of UK, and literally I did that for 3 weeks and just was like, I fucking hate pinning and I'm tired of this. I'm not doing it anymore. So got off of everything. And I've been off of everything since then. So, there's the waves, the ups and downs, obviously.
Were you doing any HCG or anything like that, or anything to?
I didn't do anything, man. I just go cold turkey. Honestly, it's probably not the best, and I'm not advising you to do it that way, but that's what I do. So obviously there's highs and lows, but now it's through the best of it. Brett knows this. He's kind of the one I bitch to about it, but it's I feel small and shitty right now, and think I look like garbage. I know I'm lean. I literally just can't eat enough to get full right now, and it's just aggravating. It's you can't get that just bursting bubbliness. It doesn't matter how much I train in the gym or how much food I eat. I feel like it's just not there. So that part's aggravating, but I also know that this is part of the process, and I also have friends like Brett helping me put it in perspective, hey bro, this is longevity. I'm 25. I have 20 years more to do this sport. So this downtime is necessary. It's good for me. It's also good mentally. I really like the mental clarity of being off of everything and kind of having that outlook. It's been nice, and watching Brett have success and stuff shows me just be patient. It just takes time. My boy took 18 months off before he went back to the Open, so it's I know that if I go do something like that, I'm going to be in the same position. So I'm very confident right now, which is nice. Even though it's kind of a low, I know that coming up is a real high peak. So
it's such a patience game, but man, from an outside perspective, knowing what you've done in terms of coming off cold turkey and all that sort of stuff, the way your physique looks is really impressive. You guys, obviously, Stan and Brett, you'd agree with that, because I think he still looks awesome, and obviously you're excited. I'm excited to see your next push and where your physique goes to then, because where you're at now with what you're doing is pretty awesome.
Thanks, man. I really appreciate that. Yeah, I do think that like this is probably one of the best I've ever been set up, and I'm just like, you know how it is. The longer you train and the more maturity you get, the longer the muscle sticks around. Like at this point, I don't think like I would really have to push my body crazy hard to get below 230. Like I'd have to eat muscle off myself. So as long as I'm eating enough to hold on to my tissue, man, like once I rebound out of this, it's going to be an explosion. So I'm like really excited for that.
Yeah, for sure. That'd be awesome, man. And yeah, it sounds like Brett as well. I was going to say before, like it sounds like you're perfectly set up in terms of how old the baby will be, hopefully with the sleep and all that sort of stuff, because like that first 3 months is like sort of like a bit of a write-off, but then it seems like your bub will be probably about that 3-4 month age when you're probably right into your Olympia prep. So that's like perfect.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, like perfect would be like 5 years old, but you know, it's like in terms of like if you're having the baby right as you're starting your Olympia prep, I'd be like, oh, that is rough. Like there'd have to be some sort of, I don't know, someone would have to be helping.
Separate.
But, anyway, yeah, that's awesome. But let's get into discussing this Classic Physique Olympia and some of the contenders, because the lineup, we talked about it, and it's apparently about 60 men deep. So, which is insane. So I don't know. What do you guys think they're going to do in terms of like?
Did you say 60?
Huh?
Do you say 60? Like 60?
Yeah.
60, yeah.
There's 60 classic guys?
Apparently, that's what people have been saying. So I'll look at the list, but apparently it is
over
crazy.
440 athletes, pro athletes on the stage.
Dude, how long? Friday night prejudging isn't, I mean, well, it's finals for classic. It's prejudging for open.
It's going to be Saturday, I think.
What's that? They moved it to Saturday? Okay. Well, I was going to say Friday night's going to go until about 3 in the morning, because it usually goes about to 1 a.m.
Yeah.
Now it's going to go because you have 212 finals, you have open prejudging, you have usually classic finals, all the girls, obviously.
Yeah.
Wow. Holy crap. That's going to be a long. I don't know how they're going to do this. It's going to be
because there's well over 400 athletes in the Olympia over the whole weekend.
You got to think they each have to have at least their, well, I guess prejudging, they at least have to have their, 60-minute or 60-second presentation, where they come out and like just that's going to take an hour, an hour and 15 minutes just for that, for 60 guys to go through, and that's not even comparisons, that's not even call outs. I don't think they're going to do that. I think they're going to do, like with shows that size, normally what they do, they bring groups like of 6, maybe even 8 people, and they do like rounds, and then they're trying to kind of like set up like a ranking a little bit, and then they bring the first 3 call outs. So you don't even have the individuals?
I mean, I think they should, because it's the Olympia, but with this amount of athletes, it's just, I don't think time-wise you can fit that.
Well, the thing is as well, there's more shows, because we had a show, the last Olympia was October. And
it's been like a super long season.
Yeah, so it's been like 14 and a half months instead of the regular 12 months between shows. So they even had some shows that qualified, they'd have them 1 year, and then they'd have it the next year, and both of them qualified for the same Olympia, but it's the same show. So they've got more opportunities to qualify, plus there's more shows as well. So it's just like compiled into being so many competitors. So
what's crazy is like how many guys aren't even going to get a look. You know what I mean?
Dude, some people are going to get missed.
Like they're going to be, they're probably going to be their best ever, got all ready for the Olympia. And in that second half, that 30 through 60 guys, they're not even going to get a look. They're just, I mean, these judges already know that, the top at least 10 that they're looking for, obviously. But those last half, like, they're just going to be like, hey, you look the best you ever have, but we're not even going to look at you. Let's just keep going.
Dude, it's so crazy because, like, obviously the Olympia is set in for certain times. So it's like, okay, when you buy tickets, it's, the Olympia starts at, the finals at 6 p.m., 7 p.m., whatever it is. But like, looking at it now, it's like, should they have done it where it's a longer event, or would that just become boring at that stage? Like, what do you think, Brett?
You mean like an extra day, or what do you mean by longer event?
Like a longer event, like where, like, just say finals would start at 7 p.m., maybe have it start at 5 and put on some divisions that maybe would be more of a niche division at the start. You know what I mean? So people can roll in. I don't think
they can make it much longer, meaning that like longer sessions, because like the Friday night and Saturday night, those are like 5-6 hours. By the time people are ready to get out of there after 5-6 hours, you know what I mean? especially when you're waiting all the way to the end to see who the open winner is. Like people are like, you like kind of zombies walking out of there because you just sat on your ass for 6 straight hours, you know, with lights flashing in your eyes, loud music, you know. So it's like, it's not so much how much longer. It's just going to be how are they going to figure this out to condense it down. So obviously they'll only probably do like top 5 posing routines is my guess, especially for like they'll probably do top 10 classic, top 10 open, because they usually let all the open guys do it, mattering on how many there are. But they'll definitely only do top 5 or 10, probably top 5, which will be weird because usually they do 10. But this year with that, they'll probably do
for open.
No, I'm talking like with classic and then the girls stuff with like women's physique.
The classic, they should definitely do top 10 though. Like those, some of those.
I wouldn't count on it. I'm just telling you time wise, and so then they'll bring the comparisons out and everything like that.
I mean, realistically, we've got to, if they want to do it like this, you winning a show needs to qualify you for like, we have 2 regional shows, like one in Europe and one in America. And it qualifies you for the regional show. And then they take like the top 5 from each region, and you have 10 bodybuilders that are going to compete at the Olympia. Like because there's no way you can get a look at 60 guys. Like Brett said, fucking 40 of those dudes ain't even getting a look. So if you're a classic guy and you don't think you're getting a look, you better do something to make yourself stand out. Dye your fucking hair purple. Like, you know what I mean? Like, because how are you going to get a look like that? You know what I mean?
It's just, we're thinking like, this is just, we all experienced this or saw it with a national show. You know, like nationals last weekend, there's 45 guys. A lot of those guys aren't getting looks. There's 45 of them.
Right.
Now that I know there's 60 classic physique guys, how many bikini chicks are there? Because
like that.
60 to 80 bikini chicks. Yeah, there has to be, because there's just as many bikini shows as there is classic.
Let me look it up.
I think like 60 men's physique, 60 classic.
So they cut it out at 60?
No, they didn't cut it out. I think that's what's the average.
So why does it work out that way?
Well, bikini
there might be a lot less bikini because Ashley Colwalter won like 30 shows.
Yeah.
She's representing 30 of the shows.
I watched the Olympia TV, and Tarek was like, "Thank you for saving us a lot of money on hotel rooms."
And flights.
Yeah, they love her probably.
I was like, that's hilarious, actually. That's so true. Saved them.
He's like, Jake Wood is thanking you.
They love her.
I love Tarek, man.
He's hilarious, bro.
They've been doing a good job. They've been doing a really good job over there. They gave you a shout out too the other day, Xavier. I saw that.
They did, yeah. I was actually going to post that on my Instagram. I was just listening to it, and I just like heard it. I was like, oh, that's cool. I was like, it's cool of them to give like all the YouTube channels and podcasts, and encourage people to check out your guys' YouTube channels and all that sort of stuff as well. So I like how they promote, they're promoting bodybuilding in general, which is really cool, because it is a Mr. Olympia thing. So it's not like it's
hilarious.
What's that, sorry?
And they're hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, I love Chris and Tarek's back and forth. It's hilarious. I'll look up the Olympia qualified list and find out how many we're looking at for. Try to find it. Where do you guys go to? Is it IFBB Pro?
I don't know where the official list is.
I think it's Olympia.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we'll go on the Mr. Olympia website. But yeah, the amount of competitors, like, they're going to have to do something about it at some point, because it's like,
that would be cool, and then you could make it just like almost as prestigious as the Olympia. Like,
what's that?
I said, like, I think a regional show would be cool, or like a, like a semifinal show that's like, that gets you to the Olympia, but you have to qualify for it. I think it would be cool. It's like you make that title almost as prestigious as the Olympia title.
When do you place it?
Huh?
When do you place it? 2 weeks before, or like completely 6 months away?
Probably, like, I would probably try to do it like a couple weeks before, bro. Like the Wings of Strength. I mean,
they did in the past, right, Martin? They did this once.
Yeah, I think so.
In like the 90s or so, maybe 80s.
Yeah.
I thought Milos was talking about it one time.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they have done it, and I don't know. So that's when the Olympia like moved as well.
Yeah.
So, but realistically, like, it makes sense to do it like that. like you said, Stan, it does kind of suck. You're making us compete like twice in a row. But like, bro, I mean, the best bodybuilders in the world in the era that they talk about the best bodybuilding ever, those guys went and did the European tour right after the Olympia and like banged out like 7 shows. Now, obviously, like, no, they all knew like traveling, you might not look your best, but they still were all trying to win shows.
Yeah.
So like, I mean, obviously you want to win the Olympia, but like making that title almost as prestigious is going to make you want to prep for that show.
But you can almost, the thing is with that, then you kind of have to gauge how much you peak, you know, if you're gonna, you know, have to peak twice in a row.
Yeah. It makes it more difficult for sure. I mean, it almost makes Mr. Olympia more prestigious, bro. In my opinion,
it'd be pretty cool. So you basically have like people would qualify for that first show like 2 weeks before, and then
say
if there was 30.
Say you have like a UK championships.
It's like a playoff system.
Yeah, you have a European championships and you have a US championships. If you win a show in the US, you qualify for the US championships. If you win a European show, you qualify for the European championships. And then they take the top 5 from every division in that show, and that's who gets to go to the Olympia. So you have 10 competitors every class, best of the fucking best. You had to compete 3 times in the year because you have to win to get into the championship, then you have to win the championship, and then you have the Olympia. So like,
dude, I fucking love that.
We would see better competitors, or we would see the really good competitors more often. You'd have another really prestigious title, which hopefully ends up with more money for us. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I want to see that. and then 2, you win the Olympia after you competed 2 weeks before. Dog, you're the best fucking bodybuilder in the world. Let's be honest. Like, that guy that knows how to peak perfectly at both times and kill it both times, that's for sure the best bodybuilder in the world.
Yeah, man, I would love that. Like,
body combo in the world.
Yeah, the only thing
it'd be cool. It'd be cool if they grouped a few shows like just together. Like they'd have like, okay, like we're gonna have like, this is just a different idea, but sort of similar. Like you'd have shows that are close in proximity, and maybe 3 shows, just say, and they could have 2 of them on the same weekend. Even it obviously becomes into like a health thing, but you can choose maybe just 2 of those shows, and however you go, whatever 2 shows you do best at, you can do all 3 if you want, but whatever 2 shows, just say you get a first and a second, then you finish whatever position, like it'd be first or second for that group of shows. So that can be like the UK or something, or
like a Mario Kart.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. So if you place top 3 in that group of 3 shows, then, or top 2 or whatever, then you qualify for the Olympia that year.
Yeah.
So you got to do probably 2 shows. You might win 1 show, and then that you get enough points or whatever it works out in that group, and then you can go do it. Because then the shows are close in proximity, close in time. So it's not like, you know, you have to go do 1 show in Spain and then 3 weeks later there's one in the US you want to do, or then there's one in Canada 2 weeks after that. You know, at least they're going to be week after week or whatever. So, and they're close. So travel wise, it's easier, and you can sort of situate yourself, sort of like Brett did over in Europe, you know. So it's just like another idea. But I think like it'd be cool to have bodybuilding get spiced up a bit like that in terms of like what I suppose how the process is and how it works, just for something different, but still not taking away from what bodybuilding actually really is and what we love about it. Yeah. Anyway, it's all good ideas, but let's get into the classic physique.
So playoff system, but we're not.
Yeah, even like the NBA even do that now. They're talking about doing like a mid-season tournament to make, because the mid-season gets like a bit boring and stuff, and you know, because teams are resting players, and just to sort of add more excitement. So,
what do you, bro? I want to kind of know what you think why Xavier's getting that list. What do you think?
Man, I'm thirsty as fuck.
Do I think what?
Do you think that like the qualifying like that with regionals?
No, I like it, especially if the numbers are like this, but who knows each year how much the numbers
are. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
When there's like 35 open guys, we got to do something like that.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I think the magic number is that, 17 to 20, because then it's a little bit, spend more time on each individual guy. You know, I mean, like more prestigious. Like a lot of this, like, what's weird is I'm not even going to know 10 of these guys, 10 out of 30, which is crazy, just because there's so many shows this year. And them coming from weight, it's not like they're providing, any extra value. Some of them, that bottom tier. So it's like, let's almost have a playoff. Like you said, I like the idea for sure.
Yeah.
I think we don't know the logistics and the money involved and everything.
Yeah, of course.
In our head, it's like, yeah, that's a great idea.
I feel like it would make more money, to be honest, but I don't know.
Yeah, but then they can't attach like an amateur show to it. You know what I mean? So it's like, who's going to promote it? And then it's going to be solely based on if fans show up, which, they still will, because this is still the top 30 guys in the world. They should. And then, how much are tickets going to be as the live stream? How much would that be? But just enough, it matters on what you want to make the prize money too. But
right.
Yeah, a lot of logistics.
Yeah. There's so much to it.
So
but
names on this fucking list.
What's that?
There's so many names on this fucking list.
Check it out. It's huge.
The main thing I think is not even the amateur part. It's just that if you have people like traveling like this to compete, they have to cover the travel fees. You can't be like doing 3 shows, like 3 weeks out of the month, like back to back shows, like moving around, having to find places. Like you have to logistically, you have to have like camps or something. You can't just like let the athlete have to pay all that. Like
it's not cheap. I found that out. That 3 weeks in Europe is not cheap, Stan.
And check out this, like with all these international names, you got like, look, there is a lot of international names here.
So
is Jake Wood paying for everyone to fly and their accommodation as well? Because that will be a fortune.
$2,000.
They pay for flight and then they pay for like 3 days hotel. It's not like, but everybody comes out a week out, so they have to figure it out for that first 5 days or whatever. But 3 days of hotel, flight there and back. What Stan say, maybe like $500 just for spending, maybe not even that, probably like 300. What is it?
I think they have a per diem, but they have, I think it's up to $1,000 of flights that they reimburse.
Just reimburse on flight. So a lot of these, their flights are going to be more than 1,000.
Way more.
Easy.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely, especially like from Spain and Egypt and all that sort of stuff as well. New Zealand, especially, like, there's just so many people qualified though. But you add it up, you're like 400 and something qualified athletes. To say it's like 450.
Yeah,
you've got just there. It's probably like that $400,000, $450,000 in flights straight away, and that's not including obviously everything else and the production and everything they're doing. It's at such a crazy, theater. Like that's going to cost a fortune. There's so much money going into this. So I hope that Jake Wood sells plenty of the pay-per-views as well, and I'll put a link as well in the description below, so you can check that out, and you can actually order the pay-per-view now, which is I think cheaper now. So if you order it early,
but the tickets are expensive too.
Sorry?
The tickets, the in-person tickets are quite expensive also.
I think are they sold out for the finals?
I think I heard so, but like I think if I got some people who just got some like a few days ago, and it was close to $1,000 for like bad seats for finals.
Crazy.
Yeah,
wow, that's crazy.
Maybe it was even $1,000. Yeah.
How many people do you know that are actually going to it, Stan? Like, is it like most people are actually going there, or like, are you going to it or no?
Going to watch?
Yeah.
Me, I'm planning on going. Yeah.
Cool. But was it hard for you to get tickets, or did you get tickets early, or do you have tickets?
Yeah, I got lucky. I have a friend of mine who's competing, and he had to buy some tickets for a group of people of his family and stuff, but he had the VIP ticket as he's competing, so he gave it to me.
Nice. Do you know how many people it seats?
How many seats?
Yeah.
Oh, how many people? I mean, all the competitors have a seat normally.
No. I mean, how many? Like, does the venue
How
seat?
big is the venue?
Oh, how big? I don't know.
Yeah, no one's seen it yet.
Yeah, it looks cool though. But let's get into this classic physique and do some predictions, because it's obviously a huge list. We'll focus on the big names, and there's still plenty of big names in there, but we won't cover off absolutely everyone. But we've got obviously Chris Bumstead, who's the defending champion, who, I mean, he sort of gives these like little updates where you get to see a bit, and he's looking big, obviously. This was posted 6 hours ago, so he looks pretty outrageous here. It just depends, obviously, on the level of conditioning. Obviously, Chris has, those health issues. He's working with Harney for the first time, and a lot of sort of changes, but it seems like he has a good team and he's looking pretty awesome. Does anyone here think that Chris can be beaten?
Not this year.
Mm.
Nope.
Marty,
He's gonna get beat, but not this year.
you reckon he'll be beaten before he retires?
Well, it depends on when he retires. But he
Yeah,
ain't
that's
got
true.
long before he gets beat.
Who do you think by?
Yours, for sure.
Urs is obviously one that's like, he said at last year's Olympia, he had 20,000 followers on Instagram, and now he's got, I think, just
He's
under
got
500,000.
500,000.
Holy shit.
Yeah, so that's like an insane social growth.
Yeah.
And yeah, he's absolutely killing it right now. And I actually had him on the channel the other day as well, which was cool. We fitted
So
in just as he's getting his last meal in.
I saw Chris yesterday before he took off, and the changes he's made in just the last week is incredible. I think I think that's how it always works with him, is like because that autoimmune thing and stuff. But
Yeah.
water sticks a long time, and then like when it goes, it goes. Like, and so just seeing him yesterday in person, I'm very certain that he's gonna obviously do extremely well, but he's gonna actually look the best he ever has too. So I didn't know how it was gonna be, but after I saw him yesterday, I'm certain like he's gonna be probably 3 or 4 pounds heavier, and he's gonna be big, full, and shredded. Like it's gonna be cool. Look,
This was posted a week ago, or maybe up to 2 weeks ago. But he just looks like Urs, I think, is awesome. Like I think that he is like a future champion of the classic physique. But you look here, like this is the part, like
Yeah.
everyone used to say about Chris's arms being smaller and stuff. There's still a lot of thickness, like even to the forearms and everything.
Yeah, he
It
just
just
has
looks like
maturity.
a lot of mass.
and the thing is with a champion, especially like him, when you're getting into this 4 times, 5 times, ahead, it's not so much. It's like as long as he's still progressing, even just a little bit, he's not going to lose.
Yeah.
It's when he either goes stagnant or starts digressing that they're gonna start rewarding other guys. You know what I mean? So as long as he's still on just even this trajectory, you got to knock off the champ. And if he's still projecting, you're not going to knock off the champ. So it's got to be a statement. So we still have multiple years, and who knows what his plans are with all this, but it's going to be a bit, and it's not going to be this year. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah, it's definitely not this year.
Yeah. Like, how hard do you think it is for, like, it's easy to say when you're not in Chris Bumstead's position to say, oh, of course you'd be motivated to every year come back and win the Classic Olympia title. But when that's become your norm, that's your everyday life. You are Classic Physique Mr Olympia, which obviously he likes that life, but he's got so much, even if he's not winning the title anymore, it doesn't really matter to him. It's about more building a legacy of how many titles, but the amount of money he wins winning that show to him would be nothing. It's literally for the title. And he's got over 10, I think he's got like probably 11 million followers now. And he's grown, I think, 3 times since last year's Olympia. So he's probably going to have, eventually 20 million followers and growing. It's like he doesn't need bodybuilding. He doesn't need more titles. So how hard do you think it would be? I'll go to you first, Brett, for Chris Bumstead to motivate himself to come back year after year at this point? And what does each title mean to him, and how much does it grow his legacy?
Yeah. So what I've picked up around him, and that's what's makes him so special, is in person he's a different, he just truly loves this sport, so it's like he's a competitor in person. I don't think he doesn't put off that persona on his YouTube and stuff, because he like makes a lot of jokes and stuff and like calls himself a skinny bitch and stuff like that. But inside, dude, he's just as fierce as competitor as any of us. So it's like, I've had some talks with him. He's like, yeah, I gotta fuck some shit up this year, and like he is devoted. So it's just that internal drive of the competitiveness that it is there. So you see the fire is there. It's not like he's feeling forced that he needs to do this, because I think now he knows this too. He's at a point like when he's not there physically and mentally, he's just like, I'm done. Like, why do I need to do this anymore? I've already became the king of that division, but also the king of fitness. So he is the face of us right now. He's already reached that. So this is just more for his personal inventory, personal competitiveness. And I'm telling you right now, the drive is there still. So he's gonna do it. Yep.
Yeah, dude, everyone knows him. Like, it's crazy the level of fame he actually has now. Like, where I am now, like in Tasmania, Australia, like it's got a population of like 500,000 in the whole state. and I went and got my hair cut by a barber, and somehow, like, you know, bodybuilding came up, and I mentioned I said, oh, about blah, blah, blah. And then he's like, oh, yeah, CBUM. I'm just like, oh, like, how do you know him? And he said, like, oh, this guy didn't even really go to the gym much or anything. He's like, oh, yeah, everyone knows him. I'm just like, what the fuck? Because we're so close to it that I just don't even realize how famous he actually is, I guess. I don't know. It's weird. But have you been around him in public much, Brett?
Yeah. So we were down in Miami, I don't know, was it 4 or 5 months ago? 5 months ago. And like, so we went to go meet up with the group because they were already down. They were downtown eating, and him and we went to the gym and stuff. So we went to go meet him. So we went and parked. But just walking 2 blocks downtown Miami, like there was like a crowd following us. Like people started noticing. I'm like, fuck, dude. Like I've never been part of this, you know. Like I'm like looking around, everybody starts pointing and stuff. I'm like, all right, we gotta walk faster, bro. We gotta walk faster. And so we're like going through alleys and like blocks trying to get to the restaurant because everyone's waiting on us. But we like people caught up. We had to stop, take pic. You know, not me. They didn't even fucking know who I was. Take pictures with Chris, but so it's just like. And, you know, he does it really well. I will applaud him because it would be annoying because, like, it's like, hey, we're hungry. We're just trying to go. But, like, you know, he took his time, talked to people and stuff, but, like, let them know, hey, I'm kind of in an urgency. And he's obviously dealt this for, but, like, it's getting to a level where, you know, it's almost like Arnold Schwarzenegger-ish. You know what I mean? So it's cool and it's good for him. You know, I'm happy for him. And, you know, and he's obviously put in a work and put in a lot of time to build this. And it's just something I haven't experienced in general.
Yeah, it's absolutely crazy. So he's got 11.8 million followers. So it's actually growing really quickly at the moment.
Every time I check, he's got 1 million or 2 more. Like it's, I noticed a few months ago, I was like, how big is he now? And he overcome what's his name? Simeon Panda was the biggest fitness influencer, and like now he's just like it's way beyond fitness for sure.
Yeah.
But it's good.
Absolutely crazy.
Let's talk about. It's getting to a point. It's getting to a point like, you know, we might not actually see him fulfill like how long he wants to compete. Like he might get taken by, you know, movies next. You know, who knows? Yeah. Like, you're getting to that point where you're getting that much notoriety. You know, you're getting that much fame that you're going to be taken by something bigger than bodybuilding.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, and with this kidney thing, I don't think that he should try to compete forever. I do think he should find a different avenue. And that's all. He might step away before he could fulfill his like true legacy, to be honest.
Yeah, like I mean, his legacy is still going to be like.
Oh, it'll be upwards of Arnold's, but I mean, like to win as many titles as I think he could win. If it wasn't for his kidney thing, who knows? It'd be like inevitable.
Yeah, it would win so many. Unless someone, you know, another Chris Bumstead came along, because everyone says, oh, you know, no one will ever beat this physique of this guy or whatever. And it's like, you know, someone still can. You still can get like an absolute genetic phenom come up and just absolutely tear it up. But yeah, obviously he's, you know, got pretty much a stranglehold on the division at the moment, but there's always a possibility something could go wrong. Obviously he does have the health issues, all that sort of stuff, and working with a new coach for the first time, although Hani is more than qualified to handle it. But Urs is looking next level at the moment. I featured this on my channel already. I interviewed Urs the other day. I'll put the link to that interview in the description below if you want to listen to that one. But this is looking next level, and this level of conditioning is something that perhaps CBUM might not have to that level of conditioning. I mean, I think he's going to be great, but could that be something that is a differentiating factor and something where it could get Urs, you know, at least into the top 2? What do you think, Marty?
Yeah, man, that's definitely who I see my top 2 being is Chris and him. I think Urs is most comparable to Chris, so I think that it'll be a really good battle. Obviously, Urs isn't developed enough yet to beat Chris, I don't think. He doesn't have mature enough muscle, not quite big enough. But I do think that he's the next champion, and I do think that him getting this level of conditioning sets him kind of apart from the rest of the lineup. Like, we know he has pretty lines. We know he's an amazing poser. We know he has stage charisma. Now this next level conditioning, a step up from the Arnold, etc., I think will make him take that next step up and put him in second place.
Yeah, for sure. And it's cool to see everything that he's doing right now as well, in terms of his growth and, you know, all the collaborations. I actually asked him as well about, you know, I said, do you get like nervous, you know, training with all these different, you know, he trained with Milos with the giant sets at, what was it, probably like 11 days out or something.
I
like
watched that interview. It was good.
Yeah, cheers, man. Appreciate that. But yeah, I asked him if he thought that would be, you know, a factor, and he's like, oh, I wonder myself. But he's like, you know, he's talking about the experiences of it and everything, and you know, he's obviously still early days trying new things out. But it's yeah, I think that was my interview. For some reason, I can't go back, but that was him sharing it. But yeah, it's just cool. He's just a very sorry guys, he's just a really charismatic dude that I think is really good for the industry. And it's cool to see him doing well. And he's actually spoke on Jay Cutler's podcast about, you know, he actually looks after his mum and has helped her out a lot, you know, from bodybuilding, which is cool to see. Sorry guys, I'm actually, my voice is shutting down. But Brett, what do you think about Urs, and where do you think he'll place? Do you think he can beat out like a Terrence Ruffin, who's pretty much had a stranglehold on being the number 2 guy in Classic?
So yeah, I mean, I said this a while back. I think I said it on here. Is I see the next person in line. I see it as Urs, just because, like Marty said, he matches it. I said this, and then Nick Joey made a video about it saying I said that Urs is going to beat Chris, my boss, which was hilarious. But I never said that. This is still Chris's, but the next person in line I see is Urs, because he has it. He has the total package. He has the charisma that Chris has as well. It's kind of just, he's on his way. You know, he's on that trajectory. We got to obviously give respect to Ramon too. He's going to be up there, and Terrence in second as well. But I just think this is going to be kind of Urs's leap year, where he gets in that second. Next year, going to be another 1-2 with Chris, and then we'll kind of see, you know, the next 2-3 years what happens with, you know, who's there. But then he's going to be hitting his prime, man. You know, he's so young. He has these years ahead of him. You know, he still obviously needs to bring up his back and his arms a little bit, but he just has time, and they're going to be improved this year. They're going to be improved next year. And so we're just going to, we're lucky enough. We're going to see a young bodybuilder, you know, unfold into his prime here ahead. And it's going to be fun, and he deserves it. He's a really good dude.
And I think like the storyline as well around the Classic Physique is really interesting too, because you've got like, I love the different types of physiques and the different types of personalities and all that sort of stuff, because you've got Terrence Ruffin, who's the guy that's just consistently there, that's almost always sort of slightly overlooked because he doesn't always look the best compared to some of these other guys in his lead-up photos, because he's maybe comes in a lot at the last minute. And then you've got Urs, who's like the, you know, almost like the Arnold type guy, and he's got that same charisma, and, you know, he's sort of going to have his own sort of supporter base. And then you've got obviously Chris Bumstead, who's the, you know, the top dog of the division. And then when Chris goes, will it be like an Urs versus Terrence thing? Will it be like a Ramon versus Urs versus Terrence? Will someone else come in? There's just a lot of, I think, excitement around the Classic. And I think the 212, I actually spoke to Keon, and I was saying, you know, and he was saying that maybe 212 is being slightly overlooked because of, you know, and I was saying in part because of the Classic and because of the Open, they're so crazy this year. But yeah, I can't wait to see how Urs does. But what do you think, Stan?
No, I think Urs is very impressive because he made a lot of improvement this year, especially. He's coming up very quickly. But, you know, you can't dismiss Terrence Physique, who's, you know, been placing second at the Olympia for the last 2 years and always one of the best presentation in the sport. So I don't know if it's going to be enough this year for Urs to overcome Terrence, but it's definitely going to be a big battle on stage, and it's definitely a huge lineup, and it's going to be hard to predict. I mean, honestly, picking 10 guys in those 60 names, you're going to have to leave out some people who won some big shows this year. So I don't know how they're going to do it, because it's going to be crazy to judge.
I was going to be picking Urs to place in second, but these only just came out yesterday, and this is the first time I'm seeing them. And I'm looking at Terrence, and I'm like, damn. Like, I've never seen photos of him look really, I don't think, this good, like this far out from a show. So, I mean, it's not that it's far out from a show at all. It's weak. But it's still, this looks very, very impressive. And I think he just dries out well at the end. But Brett, what do you think about Terrence?
I agree, man. These shots the last couple of days have been pretty nutty. I haven't seen his. I feel like he's sucked down the most I've ever seen. He might be the most crisp I've ever seen him.
And he's a little bit thicker too, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's always hard to tell. He always looks so much bigger in pictures, and then you put him next to people, and it's a different story, you know. But it's just a beautiful, beautiful physique, classic physique, and I love it. Like I said, I think he'll be, he'll probably be his best yet. But like I said, I think it's kind of just Urs's time to take that next step. And I personally have Terrence in third, but still such a great feat, and he could still obviously be second in the highest, or with Ramon too, he could be fourth. Who knows? So it's going to be a good battle, I think, between those 2 through 4 guys. I think we probably all have the same 2 through 4 here, in maybe different orders, but we know what we're thinking here, and I'm really looking forward to just watching that too.
Yeah, man, it's going to be exciting, and Terrence looks great, but we really just don't know until we're on stage, because photos can tell one thing. They can be professional photos, they could be whatever. We just don't really. They could be all the effects turned up on them and stuff. But another guy I wanted to discuss. We'll start to get through these guys a little bit quicker. We've got Chen Kang, which is Branch. He looks the next level. Marty mentioned him right before we started, and I was like, yeah, that's right. I've got to remember this guy, because he's got the craziest quads in the classic physique, I think. But
he might have
what do you guys think?
quads on the Olympia stage.
It's insane, isn't it? Like,
yeah, they're just too nuts.
I'm looking at this as well, and I'm like, because China are so like, they love their athletes, and they, everyone is about it. I'm like, I love how he's just got a Chinese flag right above his head, like in all these updates.
But if you think about a lot of our gyms, like when we were at Armbrust, me and Martin, like there's always an American flag behind our head. I mean, so I don't think it's that crazy.
Yeah, I just meant like maybe it's not coincidental.
That's true. They might be meaning the pose right there to show that. That could be it too. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. But he looks next level. Like, his shape is insane. I don't think these photos, conditioning will be sort of a factor for him as long as he's hard enough. This one was, I mean, he looks in good condition there, but that was sort of hard to tell when some people question the lighting in Vancouver, I think, a little bit as well. But Marty, what do you think about Chen Kang? You obviously brought him up to me, so you're obviously pretty big on him.
Yeah, man, I don't know how well he'll do, honestly. Like, we just have to see him stand next to people, and I do think that that the conditioning will be a question mark. But god damn, I like his physique. It's cool, man. I love the big quads and like not having as big of an upper body, honestly. Like, I kind of think Classic needs to have like that like wow body part. Like, if you think back to like Arnold, it's like his chest was insane, but he really didn't have that great of legs. Like, there was some things like they all had their body parts. Tom Platt's upper body wasn't that great, but legs were freaking insane. So like, to me, kind of like Classic, you almost have that body part that's just like in your face. So I think he's got a cool look, man. I don't know how he'll do, to be honest. Like, I probably see him maybe around 10th. But I really like his look, bro. He's got a cool look.
Yeah, likewise, man.
He was top 6 2 years ago. I think he could still get up close.
Yeah, I could see him placing like as high as 6th.
Yeah.
Stan, have you seen this guy in Dragon's Lair before?
No.
Oh, I thought he was in there for some reason. But what do you think of his physique?
I don't know. I've seen some other Asian competitor like bodybuilders and classic physique guys, but not him.
Oh, yeah. I thought he was there a while ago, but maybe not.
No, because he hasn't even been in the United States since 2020 or 2019.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking.
He competed in Toronto or Vancouver this year.
Vancouver.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, of course. I don't know who I was thinking of, but yeah, he looks next level. We've got Mike Sommerfeld as well, who, if he's able to get inside out hard, he actually did really well, I think, at last year's or the year prior's Olympia, maybe both of them actually. He's just got such a nice shape, but it's just always conditioning is sort of the question for Mike. But Marty, what do you think? Do you think this guy can place right up there if he nails it?
If he gets peeled, man, he'll do pretty well. He probably has the most impressive front lat spread in the lineup. Like, he could compete with some of us open guys. He has like this insane width, bro. Insane. But conditioning is always a question mark, and it cannot be a question mark in Classic this year. You can't be 1% off or you're going to back of the pack.
That's the one thing about Classic. You need to be shredded now. So that's sort of does make it, I think, a little bit more up in the air with some of the guys. Like, if you have to be inside out, if someone misses their peak or there's an issue or they get food poisoning or whatever, they can just fall from like, you know, first, second, third to 10th or something like that, you know. We saw it with Keon last year too, you know. But yeah, Mike has a crazy structure, crazy physique. Like, that is absolutely next level.
Is insane.
Yeah, it's amazing. So he's one that could be like a dark horse if he does completely nail it. But he's been up there in the Olympias, just outside the top 5. So now you mentioned this guy, Marty. He won the New York Pro. He's got a cool physique. I don't know if he's as classic as these other guys, so I don't know if he can be a true factor, like, you know, pushing into the top 5. This was 5 weeks out. What do you guys think about him?
Right.
Honestly, I've never heard of him. This is the first time I've ever seen him.
Alexander Wistermeyer.
He won 2 shows. That's the only reason I mentioned him.
Yeah.
He won the New York and he won something else.
So obviously you're good. Yeah, obviously he's good. That's a great shot.
Yeah. But he just gets really peeled. So I think his conditioning could make him stand out to squeak him in the top 10. I don't think he's going to be much higher than that. But I do think his conditioning could get him, and he still has good shape. It's not like he's a brick. I mean, he's still got a little waist and stuff. He just, like I said to you guys before we got on here, he kind of has that really hard, dense muscle. And in Classic, you need more of the bubbly, round muscle to look like you weigh the same things as the other guys that are in the class with you.
A little bit like Michael DeBull, who comes in inside out, and
he'll be peeled.
Yeah, like his conditioning. This is 2 days, this 3 weeks out. You know, his glutes are there, his back's there, his hammies are there. In probably like outside lighting, it's not the best, and he's just sliced. Now he does have a small waist. He does have, you know, a vacuum. I'd just say he doesn't flow as amazing as some of these other guys. Like, you see the front double bicep. It's a great pose, but I don't know what it is, but he just doesn't. I don't know if he can ever get to the level of potentially winning like an Olympia or being even top 3 with the class and the improvements on the guys at the top, and the fact that Ramon and Urs and maybe even Terrence still have a little bit of room to move in terms of the weight cap from when they last competed. So it makes it almost impossible for him, because I've heard that he struggles a lot to get under the weight cap. So what do you guys think? Can he, like, you know, just come in just absolutely inside out and out condition people and get top 5, or will he be more destined for maybe like a 5th to a 15th in this huge lineup?
Well, I think this is a perfect example of, I mean, the reason he's so peeled is because he has to be, you know, he literally has to be to make weight, you know, like they might not even want to bring this look. Technically, they wish he was probably a little 4 if they could, but he just to make weight. Like, I think that picture you just saw, he was still like 10 to 12 pounds over weight limit. And you're like, where does it come from? So he's just somebody that has to probably do that last minute sauna, no food, no water for a few days just to make weight. And then it's about stuffing your face, just trying to get as much calories in as you can till stage. But that's when things can go wrong too with stuff, you know, digestion and stuff. So, but he'll look like that, and he'll look really good. But it's just, it's not a top 5 physique, you know, yet, or maybe won't be, you know, but he's amazing. Don't get me wrong.
But that's the big thing about this year Olympia, is that they got the Classic guys, they get weighed on Wednesday, and they go on
stage. Nice.
And go on stage Saturday.
Fuck
so
yeah.
They have really time.
I am so glad to hear that. They can finally really do. Hell yeah. That does make a difference.
You don't know how he's going to look actually full, man. Like, for example.
I don't think we've ever seen him full. We've never seen him.
Probably not.
He'll be up 15 pounds.
Yeah, I will put on 15 pounds.
No, so when at the Arnold Classic, we got our tan together, and he was still trying to make weight when we got our tan. And it had been like 30 hours or something since he'd eaten something. They were still drinking water, but he hadn't eaten anything in like 30 hours or 40 hours, something like that. Like, it was going to be almost 2 full days he hadn't got to eat anything. Yeah. So this dude has to suck down like crazy. Now, in person, this is one of the most peeled people I've ever seen, though. Like, this was wild. Like, we're getting our tan, and I was like, dude, hit your back pose again. Like I want to see that again. Like that was fucking insane. So he really impressed me. Like you asked, I don't know if he could get in the top 3, but with that, knowing that factor that Stan just told us, he could really move up if he gets filled out, because the dude's impressive as hell.
Like
Stan,
Neil,
is that the same for 212ers too?
I'm not sure about 212 yet.
I hope so.
But I assume so, yeah.
We might see some like all-time filled out guys and some all-time best from more guys.
Why not? Give them a little bit of time. Let's see the
I
best.
won't see anything for Sean.
We're gonna see that, or we're gonna see some spilled over motherfuckers that thought they could way more than they could.
That's true too.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it will help guys like Kamal, who can be a little bit over that 212 and doesn't have to stress, just get under 212 3-4 days out in the 212s.
I think it'll help 95% of the athletes.
Oh, but 212, they probably wait on Wednesday, but they have their show on Friday.
Yeah, but that's better than Thursday weighing.
Yeah.
For sure. Absolutely. I want to discuss Ramon. I'll bring him up on here. He's obviously looking his all-time best. That's Ramon Dino, if I can find him.
RA.
Oops. Not Roman.
Not Roman.
Ramon.
But he's looking crazy. Like he looks like he's added so much more muscle. Some people have said maybe he's more bodybuilding. Some people think he's still classic. Stan, what do you think about Ramon, and where do you think he is like in terms of his physique, and can he sort of push in that top 2 and maybe surprise some people?
Yeah, I think he made some great improvements. He's very very dense, very bubbly. He got great arms. He's very complete. I just feel like Urs made so much improvement that I personally see Urs getting ahead of him. But I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see exactly how it all plays out at the end, because he's big. He's a big dude. And I've seen
I'm looking at that and I'm like, that is so crazy.
Yeah. I mean, to me, like that vacuum ab tie, it looks very classic. It's different looks, classic physique, like the old school bodybuilders, they all had different looks. And that's exactly what we see here, something very different.
He's got like the Danny Padilla roundness to it.
Yeah.
Sure. Brett, what do you think about Ramon?
I like him, man. I mean, yeah, he's just another guy like yours right now that they're on their way up and their trajectory is great. I think like Stan say, I just think yours matches up so much better with Chris overall. Yeah. So you're going to just be comparing those two based off their height, their width. But Ramon has a totally different look, and it's cool. Like big ass arms, great shoulders, small waist. He's just complete. So I actually have him jumping up a spot as well. I know it sounds pretty crazy, but I have them. And we'll talk about that here in the predictions here in a little bit. But he's right there too. If he peaks a little bit better than yours, then he can beat him again like he did to Arnold. We got to remember that he technically beat him last time. But we'll see. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, it's crazy because every time I see the photos of all these individual guys, I'm like, Urs second, then I'm like, oh, Ramon second. When I see him, then I see like Terrence. I'm like, oh, but he always comes in good at the end. So it's crazy. Marty, did you give your opinion on Ramon?
No, man. So I love this guy's physique. Honestly, it's gonna come down to like, can he make weight? He's like way over cap. I know they were talking about it a while ago. He grew so much this year. So that'll depend on how much his look changes to suck him down. But with them having more time to fill out, who knows? I love this guy's look. Do I think he's gonna even stay in classic? No. I hope that he knows that he can be a really good open bodybuilder, and takes that path maybe after this Olympia even. I know we talked about it on the last podcast, and I don't know if you know this, Brett, but he grew up in the jungle, never ate red meat in his life until this year.
Oh my God.
So he's like just putting on size and shit like insane because of his placing at the Olympia. He got a great sponsor. They took care of him. Now he lives in a nice house and can afford all the things he needs for bodybuilding. So this guy's potential, I think, is just, he can't limit himself. He needs to let himself grow and see where it goes. I see him being just like a Raph, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think he's going to be crazy. He could shock everyone. And, if he looks like every time I look at those videos of him posing, I'm like,
I love
holy
him.
crap.
Yeah. I love his look, man. I love his look.
Yeah. Well, I see those going to make him make weight for sure.
Yeah, they'll make it. That's what I mean. I just don't know. Like sometimes when Aceto makes people make weight, they don't lose every bit of pop. You've done it to yourself, bro.
Yeah. But what's his name? Arash in I think that was 2017. He lost like 17 pounds in the last 3 days or something.
Yeah, that's insane, bro.
Wow. It's crazy. Logan Franklin, who's looking, I think he always comes in inside out. I don't know if he'll have maybe what some of these other guys have, but I saw these photos. So he's working with Milos, so he's definitely aimed to put on more size. And like he looks, this was 2 weeks ago, maybe a little bit over. It looks like he's added a fair bit of mass to his physique, but he looks maybe still a little flat across the upper chest. But what do you think, Brett, about Logan?
Yeah, I think he's definitely improved. He's had a long time kind of away from stage. He's been working hard. I have him getting up there now, moving up a little bit, probably more towards like the 6th, 7th, 8th spot, but he's definitely proved himself and looks like he's been working hard down at the Broad Nutrition Gym. So, him and Milos will be on point, but he just not there physique wise with those top four or five guys yet.
Yeah, because he's improving maybe at the same rate as those top guys, but they're still improving at the same rate. So he's staying the same distance behind, sort of, unfortunately. But so that's tough for him. But he's looking, I mean, killer. Marty, what do you think?
Yeah, man, I think he's still just working up the ranks, like Brett said. He just doesn't have the density yet. Like you see, even when he hits that side chest or the front double, and we just watched that video of Ramon, there's so much more dense muscle on him. I think he's putting on quality muscle, and I think he's doing it right. I think he has a beautiful shape and structure. So, I really think we see him move up the ranks each year for the next couple of years, and he'll be a top guy very soon.
And one thing is as well, he says this is fasted as well. So that's another thing to take into account because Ramon's obviously blown up in the gym and Logan's taller as well, I think, than Ramon.
I think so too.
Yeah, so but that obviously plays a factor too. But I'm pretty impressed with what Logan's bringing.
Yeah.
At least by the looks of the updates. What do you think, Stan?
No, he looks great. It's just he's had a great look for a few years. He keeps perfecting it and improving. There's just those Urs and Ramon that just came out of nowhere last year, and yeah, they're progressing so fast, so that's hard for him to really catch up, but he stays in that group. But there's so many other guys coming that I've seen some physique just looking crazy. But luckily he always nails conditioning, so I think conditioning is gonna be a big factor this year. But that's gonna be also how they're gonna favor conditioning over lines, and because classic physique, there's guys who have great shape but they're not quite sharp like they should be compared to the top guys.
Yeah,
the top guys they're already too close to the max, so they have for the weight cap, so they have to be in shape, and they have obviously more size. So those two factors together, it makes them just unbeatable for some younger guys. But
yeah, I'm trying to think. We've got Alex Cambronero as well, who's in there, who's always been a guy that's been.
I haven't seen him in a long time. I kind of forgot about him.
Yeah, and I think that maybe he hasn't made the level of improvements of some of these other guys, so he's sort of been forgotten about in terms of being mentioned in the top 5. But he's a great competitor as well, and I'll bring up just some photos of him. But it's just because a lot of these guys are really taking off, like crazy. But Alex always looks great.
So when did he qualify? Because I haven't seen him compete in 2 years, it feels like.
No, I think he competed last year.
I missed it. I don't know.
I mean, he looks pretty damn impressive there. It's just the level. This was a week ago, so I don't know if he's as sharp as maybe he normally is. What do you think, Brett?
Like I said, it's been so long since I've seen him, but yeah, I think kind of just how history kind of writes itself. He was kind of Terrence got in front of him, pushed him back, and then now these two younger guys are up ahead. I think they'll push him back. I think he'll still definitely be top 10. Just he's an incredible physique, incredible career, but he's also getting up there now, and in competition in age too, and it's, you know, not being on the stage for this long a time, I think will hurt him a little bit too.
Yeah, I think he looks thicker. This is 3 weeks out, so it'll be interesting to see how this looks on stage. So if you can dial it in, he does work with Neil Hill as far as I know.
Right.
Y3T athlete. Stanimal, what do you think? And have you seen Alex around?
No, I haven't seen Alex, but last time I seen him was at the Fit Expo. I think it was in May. And you know, he's got a great, amazing classic physique. He won the Arnold Classic. He's been in the top 5 for years. But yeah, like Brett said, he's got those younger guys that just passed by him, and I don't think he has much room to improve. So, you know, all the other guys come up, he's kind of falling back in the rankings.
But we forget about him. He's got such a great physique, but you got to give him his credit. Marty, what do you think about Alex?
Yeah, man. I mean, kind of same thing as these other guys. I think realistically, the thing is he's at an age where he's not going to improve a lot, and these other guys are improving at such a drastic rate that it's just hard to keep him in the mix, you know?
Yeah, for sure. I'm trying to find there's a lot of Brazilians in this.
Wesley Vissers looked good at his last show.
Yeah, Wesley Vissers.
He's shredded right now as well. I'll bring him up. There's so many names. There's another 2 I want to discuss after this as well.
I think he's a top 10 guy for sure.
Wesley and Urs have the same coach.
Okay.
So
do they?
Yes.
That makes sense.
But he's got lines like all through that chest. Some people will put him this next to Andre.
He's got this going on.
Music.
Yeah, and it looks cool because like we've never seen, I don't think, this level of conditioning. This was 2 days ago, and he looks I think really, really good. But obviously he has the structural sort of, I suppose people would say, issues because he's not being rewarded perhaps as much as some of these other guys, and I assume it's because of his hip structure. When he hits the front double like this, which is sort of like the side front double, it looks absolutely next level on stage. Like, I think it's like, wow, I'm like, wow, that's classic. That's old school Arnold style classic. And then he hits it directly front on, and people like, you know, front lat spread and front double. And I think it looks crazy, and I think it looks really good, but I can see why they can say, okay, it's a bit wider than, you know, you stand him next to Terrence and his waist looks twice as wide from the front.
But
so
the front is not a mandatory pose, so he doesn't have to hit that pose. But the front,
oh yeah, of course, the front double front on.
Like, yeah, I don't know why he's hitting it from like that straight.
Yeah, I actually spoke to Wesley. I might be interviewing him soon, but I'm going to actually ask him that if he's required to be directly front on, because if he can hit it like that,
yeah, in classic you can normally add your twist to it, you know.
For sure. So I don't know why he hits it directly front on, because I think the twisting one. Have you guys, Marty, have you seen this on stage where he hits it? Because obviously he's not going to post the one.
Go up. He did it at the Arnold UK right there when he won.
On the right side.
No, he won after Arnold UK.
That one?
Nope. Go down more.
Up.
Right there on the right. See him
there?
on stage?
Oh,
yeah.
That one, yeah. That looked so dramatically better than hitting it directly front on when you see the actual NPC. I think it's the NPC.
I don't think you should do that on a front double. If they call it, when you're doing comparisons, they call front double. Judges aren't going to like that. They want you to square up.
Well, the problem is you can't see his legs, so he's
just hiding his legs that way. You know what I mean?
I don't think he can hit it like that, but he can still hit it.
He can definitely turn some more.
He definitely needs to do a happy medium with a leg spike with a little bit of a hip twist. I agree. I think you should switch to that, but you can't. He definitely can't do that whole side twist that you're talking about.
But not to that, but like more like this.
Yeah, that he could do.
Yeah.
So but still showing the quads from the front.
Yeah.
Watching him at the Arnold UK, man, he was very, very impressive.
He's a big dude.
I'm impressed.
What's that?
He's a big dude. Like, he's tall.
Yeah, he is big.
Yeah.
And they peaked him like absolutely perfect.
Yeah, I thought he was really great at that show for sure.
Yeah.
So this was 2 years ago, his physique. So you can sort of see front on it. Just it makes the quads not sort of pop out as much. But if you can just turn that, like that, you know, like Brett said, that happy medium, I think it would make him look next level. And
another thing was like his posing trunks. People were questioning that because he's always wearing those wide,
bigger, yeah.
And I don't know if it's really helping him.
It's not.
I'll try to have a look. I'm trying to think of what are they just like longer or?
Yeah, they're just bigger.
Yeah, he has a wider like waistband than most.
Oh yeah, I see. It's like that,
like
yeah.
next to him.
And this one is
These
not
ones are
even,
weird.
it's really from the front. You see, like there's a. Normally, you see them go up high the thighs. Well, I think those are more recent. Maybe the better. Yeah, I think he switched. But before you would see him, he would go right under his belly button.
Yeah, he used to wear really tall ones.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's unusual.
pretty old school looking, but that doesn't.
It's just not what looks good now, I guess, because you don't want to go exactly like what the old school was, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyway, let's discuss. There's one guy. Who was that other Brazilian guy that sort of has Chris Bumstead?
Zancanelli, I just passed him. Gabriel Zancanelli, just under Chen Kang. Not down. Right here. Just a
Wait, you tell me how to spell his name. Gabriel.
Sorry. No. Oh, there you go. That's the first one.
There he is. Boom.
Yeah,
I remember him coming out for that Brazilian show, and I was impressed. I don't even think he won the show.
No, it's his conditioning.
Ramon beat him.
But his shape is insane.
No?
Not at that first Brazilian show.
I was another guy, but his shape is insane. It's just his conditioning.
Ramon only competed at the Arnold this year.
I just don't know. Hopefully his level of conditioning is enough because his physique is, I mean, I think it's like awesome. Like when he's actually on stage, I'll try to find some stage shots, but he's, very, very impressive and very Chris Bumstead-like in terms of his physique. Not to that level, obviously, yet, but he's super impressive when he's on stage. If I can
He's
find it.
Brazilian.
Yeah, I think he's somebody for us to watch, but
Oh, yeah,
for the next couple of years. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Once he nails his conditioning consistently, he's going to be placing really high.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't see him lasting very long in Classic either. He is improving at such a drastic rate.
That's true.
Yeah, absolutely. But there's so many names in here. Like, there's so many more names we could actually mention as well. Is there anyone off the top of your guys' heads that we should mention? Like Fabian Mayer's a great competitor too.
No, I think we've covered who's going to be one. Let's get into it.
And I want to say as well, Breon Ansley's in there as well, and he's looking pretty next level. It's just the fact that I think he's been overtaken by those other guys now. So I think that it'd be hard for him to.
What's Peter Molnar going to do? Because he's been doing 212 shows for the whole second half of the year. I
think he qualified 212. I think
qualified for both.
Oh, okay, so he's qualified for both.
Yeah, he did.
He's got two. Okay, so he'll probably do 212 because I don't think he can get down.
No, he can't make it Classic, bro. He at the Arnold UK, he couldn't make it. He was like.
That's why he did 212. Yeah.
Cool. All right, let's do our predictions. Do you guys want to do a top 5?
That's 6.
Yeah, let's do 6.
All right, let's do 6. All right, Brett, I feel like you've got yours ready. Do you want to give us yours?
I know my top 5, but then I'll throw in a 6th. So obviously I said I got Chris, I got Urs, I got Ramon in 3rd, I have Terrence in 4th, I have Breon in 5th, and then I'm gonna go with Branch, the Chinese man in 6th.
Branch the Chinese man. I like it. Stan, do you have a top 6, or do you want Marty go first?
I can go. I think Chris first, like no question, I believe. But then I'm really debating. I think maybe Urs did enough to surpass Terrence, and then I see Terrence, Ramon, Breon, and then
we'll go up and down the list. You got Mike Summerfield, you got Alex Cambronero, you've got Breon Ansley.
I think Alex Cambronero.
Yeah, I like it. Marty, do you have yours?
All right, Chris, Urs, Ramon, Terrence. I'm gonna throw a curveball. Michael DeBoll, and then Breon.
Also, I want to mention someone else as well. Neil Curry. He looks absolutely next level.
I was trying to mention.
Absolutely crazy.
He's still 12 pounds above weight, but
Oh, Jesus.
They find a way.
Oh man, when I'm hearing these people being so much above weight, I'm just like thinking about how much they're gonna have to
the way they are. You're like, fuck that.
Yeah.
Oh man, they're already in good condition.
I think he's gonna make it, but it's crazy.
Yeah, geez, yeah. Obviously, everyone's trying to push it to be the top of the weight cap as well. You know, it's obviously going to give you an advantage. It's like boxing. You know, those guys suffer to get down as well. To really like water deplete and whatever they have to do to get down, and saunas and stuff. And I'm assuming a few of these guys are going to have to do sort of a similar sort of thing to make that classic physique weight. But my picks are, let me pull it up.
But with the extra carb up days, that can make a big difference. You know, some of these guys be like 10, 15 pounds heavier on stage than usually.
Now I've changed my picks. I've jumped someone up 2 spots because of that information. So I was going to have sorry.
That just made me laugh. I think that's hilarious.
No, literally though, it's because it's so close between some of these guys. So first I've got Chris Bumstead. I think he'll win it again. Second, now I was going to have Ramon in 4th, but I put him in 2nd because if he's looking like he's that far above his sort of weight, he's going to have to suffer to get down. And then he's going to be able to have plenty of time to fill back up.
Make every Brazilian watch our channel now.
Yeah, that's the goal.
So pumped.
I'm going to get Tarek on next, try to get Rafael, just get all the Brazilians and just get all the Brazilian fans.
Yeah.
And then I've got Urs coming in 3rd. I just think he looks next level. Conditioning is crazy, and he can definitely beat Ramon as well. I think that's going to be a close battle. 4th, I've got Terrence, which I think is disrespectful because I think he's going to be his best ever or close to it.
I agree.
5th, I've got Breon. And then 6th, I'm going to put, this is the tough one because I feel like that's sort of like a pretty solid top 5. In 6th, I'm going to put Mike Summerfield and just say he gets in all-time best conditioning.
I mean, even the top 10 is super tight. Like,
oh man. It's so crazy. But guys, I think we'll probably wrap up this episode there because we've been going for a while and we've still got the 212 we want to cover, but we can cover that in one of the next episodes because there's a lot going on in the classic. 212 is pretty big as well. Like when you actually look at the top 10 sort of guys, it's actually deeper than we think because they're still down to 10th place. They're still going to be very, very good bodybuilders in the 212. So
I need a pre-look over the 212 list too. Go in depth on it because I'm really excited for that division. I think there's going to be one winner and that's going to whoop everybody. I do, but besides that, I think it's going to be really close.
Yeah, I think I'm predicting that too. But if these guys had an extra day to weigh in, maybe an extra day early. But yeah, I don't think so.
I've seen some videos.
Yeah, I was assuming so too. And man, Sean has obviously Sean Gloria has a fire under his ass, man, because obviously losing the title last year. And, Derek Lunsford's gone now, but obviously there's still guys that are going to be wanting that 212 Olympia title. I think that he's going to come in all-time best.
And he's got a baby on the way that's going to be born like a week after the Olympia. So there's that. We know what that motivation is. Yeah,
for sure, man. And in bodybuilding, I feel like everyone has their own like little motivation in a prep. So you pull that out from somewhere, whether it's someone said something and you're just like, oh, fuck that guy. Or you're like you're having a baby and you're like, when part of your thing, Brett, was like you wanted to win the show, get on stage and make the announcement publicly that you and Ivana are having a baby. And that's your like that you would have been thinking about that every day. Without even asking you would have been. So it's like you pull those things out. And I think there's a lot of storylines going into this Olympia as well. So like with, you go with the open guys and a lot of the classic guys and you go, well, this guy, just go through the top open guys. You got Brandon Curry. He's trying to become the first guy ever to win the Arnold Classic and the Olympia in the same year twice because he did it, obviously in 2019. So that's a storyline. Big Ramy, like people have brought up his delts, his quads, and he's trying to, he obviously had the issue with Pittsburgh and trying to come back and prove himself and win definitively. You got William Bonac, who's working with Chad for the first time, who's coming in at his all-time biggest, and it's sort of like a last-ditch effort. You got Nick Walker, who's changed coaches, and he wants to prove everyone that he's, the next in line to win the Olympia or can win the Olympia this year. And it's just like, And Hunter wants to prove himself because he's had his, critics and stuff after last year's conditioning. So you go down the lineup and it is stacked with stories. And I think it's the most exciting Olympia that I've ever experienced as a fan of watching it. And I've been into it since before Jay won his first Olympia. So that's a fair few years now. So
you got Derek Lunsford going to come in there trying to throw a wrench into everything because he's looking fucking retarded. That's what's going on.
Derek is crazy. So man, it's going to be so
and
crazy.
Hardy is looking retarded too, man. It's going to be
Hardy. So he's obviously got all the, he's the first time being in America for this long, training under Hani Rambod. That's got to help, man.
Yeah. I mean, we're going to do a full 2 hours on that, I'm sure, but
we have to.
Yeah, we got a lot of talk about it in the open, that's for sure.
Yeah, so it's going to be absolutely awesome. So thank you guys for doing this. This was basically the Classic Physique preview show, but we'll definitely do a 212 and an open, and we'll be putting out tons of content on here, including streams while the Mr. Olympia is on. And I'm going to be running ads. So if you do want to sponsor the channel or anything like that and get some ads up on Bodybuilding University and for the Olympia and all that sort of stuff, so we can all share a bit in it, then contact me, hit me up on Instagram or whatever, or hit up any of the guys if you know them personally as well. So anyway, that's it for this episode. Make sure you check out the Butcher Hooks, check out Marty's clothing. Stan, do you have anything you're selling?
I'm actually making some suit, like jackets and pants, sweatpants right now.
Bro, I was 100% sure you were about to say something about like beard. I was like looking at you. I was gonna make a joke, like say like beard product. And you were like, yeah, I've got some. Like, he's gonna say it.
I work with a company that does.
Yeah, it looks good. You have a great beard, man. I'll
Thank
give
you.
that.
It's working. Plug them. Now's the time to plug them, Stan. So who's a big company?
The big company, Maestro's Classic.
There you go.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, they make good beer wash and beer butter. Like I really like it. A lot of people put oil, and I feel like that stain, your clothes and stuff. But the beer butter, it just hydrates the skin under the beard, and it doesn't, get dry or anything. It's just a little conditioner for the beard. It's really nice. It smells good too.
My skin gets dry sometimes under my beard, especially like where I live now. It's like way colder. Like it's summer now, and I'm wearing like this. Like it's like, so when I have showers and stuff in summer, my skin gets. When it's colder, my skin gets way drier. So you need that shit like in there. So yeah, man, sweet. Anyway, they got a good plug. And do you guys want to plug anything else, Marty, Brett?
Rise supplements, as always. Check out my Instagram.
Nice. Brett?
No, just the usual. He said like we talk about the Butcher Hooks. Always support the Gas and Better Bodies and Raw Nutrition and Revive. So those are the team behind me, and then this channel, man. Let's keep blowing this up. We're gonna bring a lot of content this week. So we obviously aren't professionals, so respect opinions, because none of us are gonna get any of this right. So don't lose your shit. That's the fun part about this. Like I watched Nick String the Powers picks last night, and I was like, what the fuck is he doing? And I'm like, slow down. Like, why am I getting worked up over this? Like, this can go any way, 1 through 10 on any division. Remember that. So this is just for fun. We respect all these guys. Obviously, these guys are better bodybuilders than us, or we'd be up there too with them in the top 10.
No shit.
So, like I said,
well, Brett, you did beat some of them, so you can sort of
just respect us. Like I said, we're just doing this for fun, and it's entertaining. And everyone make their own picks and let us know in the comments what you guys think.
Yeah, it don't even know. Like what you prefer. It's also like based on the judges, the trend and stuff like that. Well, you see coming, but that doesn't necessarily mean that's what we would each pick if we could. Our favorite weeks and stuff like that.
No, definitely, if we're picking who we want to be Urs.
I'm not agreeing with that. Chris is my boss, so
yeah, I'm not as close with Chris as I am Urs, so it's different.
Yeah, but it's just a fun thing, It's not anything like it's how we think it will play out, based on what the judges will do, not what we would do. If we were front judging, there's shows I've been to where I'm like, okay, this is what I think will happen, and this is what I would have, and they're like, 2 spots different from this guy and all that sort of stuff. So it's not about who we prefer and who we like most and all that sort of stuff. But I do sort of like it when the competitors have the spirit of like, oh yeah, I'm going to show him. You know what I mean? Like, and it's not like they're not inboxing you saying "fuck you," that's when I don't like it. It's like, chill out. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for doing this. This has been the Classic Physique preview for the 2022 Classic Physique Olympia. We are 1 week out. There's going to be tons of content on here, so make sure you give it a thumbs up, smash the like button, subscribe, all that good stuff. Also, check out these guys' channels and their social medias. The links are in the description below to all of that as well. So that's it for this episode of Bodybuilding University. For myself, Xavier Wills, Martin Fitzwater, Brett Wilkin, and Stanimal Stan DeLonge. We are out.